Welcome to my Trailblazer League progression series. I'm going to be bringing you updates as I go through the Trailblazer League, and we'll also include some tips that I find useful, including the ones I did today. This is going to be my day 1 progression, and let's go ahead and start with how the day went. So first things first, my first relic of choice was Endless Harvest. I read a lot of back and forth and saw a lot of content creators were going with Scaling Prodigy to really just power through early content. However, I plan on playing the leagues for the long haul, and I felt like going with the Endless Harvest was going to be better for my long-term goals of League, and bode a lot better for AFK gathering, especially when I start using my Iron Man account as well. And a little plug for my Iron Man account, I actually just started my very first Iron Man, and hardcore Iron Man at that. I'm actually going to be starting a series that I am right now in the process of finishing up 99 fire making at Winter's Hot, and I'm actually going to be doing the first video including all the case openings from it, so you won't want to miss that. And as you can see, the servers were at capacity instantly. The lag was insane. Everyone was stutter walking, and I'm just so glad that this did not persist throughout the entire day. So my first order of business was immediately going over to try to complete Mistalin Mystery, and that ended up being a big mistake. Inside, there's this little ruby door, and I had to defeat the store boss not once or twice, but 3 times to actually complete this quest. I'm glad I have it done behind me, but I really hope Jagex does something about that door going forward. So moving on, let's talk about the goals for the series and my league. It's kind of a moving goalpost right now, but I do plan on getting some 99s. I don't think I'm actually going to max, however we will see. Today I was doing some training methods that already saw some pretty stellar EXP rates, so really anything can happen, especially once I unlock that 12 times EXP gain. I'm typically a skiller, so I really want to push myself a bit this league, which is why I set my regions on being Kandaren, Asgarnia, and then Swampman Land, Mauritania. Those make the most sense to me for both skilling as well as giving me PVM options like God Wars Dungeon, there's Barrows, Theater of Blood, and Nightmare. Plus, it's also going to give me access to the Slayer Tower as well as other top EXP skilling locations. And now on to my relics. I'm a little indecisive on some of the last ones, and I'd definitely like to hear down in the comments what you guys think you're going to be doing for the league. So we took Endless Harvest for number 1, and that's already out of the way. Number 2, I'm almost 100% confident I'm going to go Last Recall. Everything I've been reading about it, as well as like potential for like ZMI, rune crafting, as well as just being able to go back and forth, seems really appealing, especially later on in the league. For tier 3, I'm fairly confident I'm looking at going Fluid Strikes. I think it's just going to be the best overall for Slayer, and I typically do more melee than anything else anyways. Tier 4 seems to be no contest with me. It's going to be Unnatural Selection. I would rather have the opportunity to pick my Slayer task than to deal with Clue Scrolls, because right now, I don't know if it's going to stay this way for the rest of the league, but Clue Scrolls are actually giving you steps outside of the regions that you've unlocked, and I really don't feel like dealing with that, and especially don't feel like locking up a relic for that. Tier 5, I'm currently leaning pretty heavily towards Botanist, but obviously things can change by the time I get to that point total. And then lastly, we're looking at Weapon Specialist for the final relic. So after getting in the 30 laps at the Drainer Agility course, I thought it'd be a good idea to go get my 10k from the Stronghold of Security, as well as get the boots, because that is a task for the league, and thought it would be an even better idea to go through it with only a couple pieces of food. Spoiler, wasn't a good idea at all. So after coming back a little bit more prepared this time and actually finishing the Stronghold of Security, then moved over to pick up the quick experience from the museum. If you haven't done it before, you just go through and click all the plaques and correct what's going on with them, and then afterwards you go back to Orlando here, and then he'll give you 1,000 experience in both Hunter and Slayer, but of course with the multiplier on, you got 5,000 each, which set both levels to level 20 right off the bat. Not long after that, I actually realized that I had accrued enough points to unlock the second relic. This was kind of when decision time had to come in, and that's when I decided to make the decision to lock in Recall. Like I mentioned earlier, I think there's just a lot of potential for that relic to really be good. And then the middle part of my day really involved a lot of questing. I knocked out a lot of quests like Romeo and Juliet, Gertrude's Cat, Waterfall quests once I got over into Kandaren. Plus I have a lot more planned for tomorrow. So I want to keep this first video a little brief and easily digestible, but also if you have liked the content so far, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as well as also follow my other accounts shown below for up-to-date info and when to catch me live. I greatly appreciate your support. So let's take a look at how we ended up today. As you can see, I'm here wrapping up the Easy Arty Diary, as well as I completed the Lumbridge Easy Diary, the Varrock, and the Karamja, and I also just hit the point total to unlock my third relic, which, as I discussed prior, I did stick with my original decision and I went with Fluid Strikes. So now the plan for tomorrow is I'm going to be knocking out some more quests, some of the major ones that are going to give some of the big experience bonuses. I also want to start kicking off Slayer, but I really want to grind some money and I want to end up with a Dragon Scimitar by the end of tomorrow. And a fun little aside to that as well, at the time of this recording, I actually ended the day as rank 12 in the Herblore high scores. I threw every bonus I had, including all of these lamps from the diaries, as well as various lamps that I got from the museum and completing quests like the Shield of Arav. So it's kind of neat to see myself on the front page for a change. Overall, really successful and fun first day. I hope it was as enjoyable for all of you as it was for me. Really been enjoying the League experience so far, and I think it's only going to get better from here. And make sure you tune in for the rest of the series going forward. Take care.